Hey, it's Rick Prescott here with Save the Beatles. Thanks for tuning in here. I'm talking again about Now and Then. I'm probably going to do 10 videos about Now and Then. And that's because it's such a significant a piece of work and such a significant moment for Beatles fans. And I want to dig into this. And nothing that I say is going to should be considered a criticism. I really don't have any criticisms. I do have some wonderings about this particular piece of music and this particular recording, and I think things that are worth talking about, even if you love it, which I do. I really do. It's an emotional thing to listen to it, even though I think universally people say it's not the greatest song the Beatles ever recorded. It's maybe not even the greatest record that they ever made. Obviously, it may not fit in the original canon, but it's a significant moment because the Beatles are saying goodbye via Paul McCartney, and Paul is bringing to a close his collaboration with John, which never really got a chance to close. He also is bringing to a conclusion his collaboration with George, and maybe with Ringo, although because they're both still kicking, there may be some more collaborations there. However, and I should say I'm recording this spontaneously on a Sunday night. My son practicing piano in the background. So if you're hearing Grieg, you're not. If you think you're hearing Grieg, you're not going crazy. It's going on in the background here. Anyway, so one of my wonderings about this record was that there's a little shift to 3/4 time at the very end, and that felt a little on the nose to me. That felt a little bit like, boy, that's a kind of a Beatles trope now, going all the way back to "We Can Work It Out." It's a little bit of a cliche with the Beatles. That's what I thought, and I thought, but that's okay. They own it. Paul can use it. It's a perfectly valid thing to do. So I don't want to criticize it. I just want to acknowledge that. Oh, look at that. Isn't that cute? He switched to 3/4. However, I went back and I listened to the demo, and I mentioned this in the previous video. I went back to listen to the demo with John just playing this by himself. And there is a moment, I could barely believe it when I heard it. There is a moment toward the end of this demo when John actually uses a 3/4 bar, and I think he does it accidentally. I don't think he does it intentionally. He just ends up leaving out a beat in the measure, and then he does a little swing thing to make it work. And of course, Beatles were all about making stuff work. Whatever happens, you make it work. That's one of the greatest lessons in life, and one of the greatest lessons the Beatles have taught to musicians, and should be to everybody. No matter what happens, you just make it work. That's what you do. So I want to play you this little snippet from the demo, and you'll hear this. I'm going to give you enough to hear the beat that he's, the meter that he's using, and then you'll hear this, what is essentially a 3/4 bar, and that is significant. So here's that clip. Now, why is that significant? I mean, you can hear it. It sounds like an accident. He didn't intend to do it, but then he blessed it by changing his little rhythm there just enough. He blessed it to be able to use it. And why is that significant? Because Paul McCartney has listened to this demo a million times, and Paul McCartney has heard that little slip a million times, and that Paul McCartney knew that gives him permission to do what he wants to do, which is slip into 3/4 time. And in his case, he takes that one little idea, that one little slip of John's, and he turns that into this genuinely elegant ending for the record. I mean, genuinely elegant. And Paul is a master craftsman, so he knows how to do that. But it's so much more significant when he can do it based on something, when he can do it based on something that he heard. And that is clearly what he has done here. He heard that little moment in the demo, and he said, that's the idea. That's the little nugget that I'm going to pull out, and I'm going to turn that into my closing for this piece of music. And that wipes out everything that I felt, realizing this wipes out everything that I felt about it's a cliche, or it's cute, or it's, it's a trope, it's a Beatlesque trope, everything like that, and it's a self-referential, and it's, it's all of those things, which the first time I heard it, that's kind of what I thought. And I'm so glad that I went back to the demo, and I'm so glad that I found that little piece there, because it releases all of that. That doesn't exist for me anymore. I know now that what Paul did is he heard John's slip up, and he blessed it. John blessed it in his own way. Paul blessed it in his own way, and between the two of them, they created this elegant, soft landing for this piece of music, and thus it's a callback. Even it's a callback without sentiment. It's a callback that is based on something. It is a callback that John was not in his demo, as you could clearly hear, not trying to recall we can work it out or anything like that. He probably just slipped up. But when he slipped up, he made something good out of it. And as I said before, that is the lesson of the Beatles. When you slip up, make it good. Use it. Now there are other things in this recording that I have a little bit different feeling about, and we will get to that in the next video. So for now, I want to thank you for listening. Do me a favor right now, go right from this to Now and Then and listen to it again. If you have access to the demo, which I'm sure is out on YouTube, I have it on a bootleg from way back. But if you have access to it, go and listen to the whole demo. It's interesting, if only to hear, like, here's where John started and here's what Paul did with it, and what he left out, which is another thing that we'll talk about. But we'll talk about some of those things the next time around. Again, thanks for watching. My name is Rick Prescott for Save the Beatles.